Good afternoon, everyone. We are here and we are live, and we have the handsome Edwin Pierce with us from the Timbavati, Warden of the Timbavati, and we're going to introduce him now. But just if you're with us, do me a favor, guys. Just click in and say hello and comment in the comment section, and say hi and say good afternoon. And obviously, what we're doing over the next couple of weeks is we're going to be educating you on what is actually happening in the Timbavati with this whole Jeff the Rhino situation that we've got into, and we passionately have got behind. It's something that we wanted to last for many years to come, so we can make a difference. And this iconic rhino with the Jeff colors hopefully will be imprinted in people's lives, so that whenever they think of that, they'll be thinking about how they're changing lives around the Timbavati, and making a difference to preserve a piece of a heritage. Edwin, thanks for coming on live with us today. It's a pleasure to meet you. I look forward to meeting you in purpose when I'm back up there in Hoedspruit. But do us a favor, just tell us about your role and what you do from that perspective.
Perfect, John. First of all, a huge thank you for having me, and for everything that you and your team has been doing for the Timbavati over this last couple of weeks. I mean, we still yet to meet each other, face to face, and I look forward to finally meeting you at the Traverse. But yeah, a massive thank you from our side. So, Jono, I've been the warden of the Timbavati now for 4 years. I came through from the Sabi St. Wildtuin, where I spent a lot of my time there. But originally, I was a student here in 2005, and I did my practical training here. And there was always something about the Timbavati that was special. It's not like any other reserve out there. It's got a wildness about it. It's incredible. And there was always this draw card for me to come home again. So I finally came home. I've been here now for 4 years. And thrown in the deep end with being the warden of the reserve and running this incredible reserve with an incredible team that we've got. But basically, yes, I sit as the warden or the general manager of the reserve. So I'm responsible for the day-to-day management and running of the reserve. From the security side of things, the conservation side, the human resource side under Crystal and her team, and the technical services. So everything you can think about in the day-to-day of a running of a private nature reserve is what I deal with.
Okay, fantastic. I think it's also, like a lot of people probably get confused between the Kruger Park side of the area and then the Timbavati side. Can you just explain to people the difference and how the border runs, etc., so they can just sort of get a geographical approach to the area that we're working in?
No, definitely. So yes, as you've captured, there's two different parts. You've got the Kruger National Park, which is basically just under 2 million hectares. That's owned by National Parks Board. And then on the western boundary of the Kruger National Park, you've got various private nature reserves that dropped their fences with the Kruger Park around about 1992, 1993. Timbavati was one of those reserves that dropped fences. So we're 53,000 hectares. So that's 530 square kilometers. It's quite a large private nature reserve, and we stretch from Auburn Road in the south, so in Kruger's sort of central section, all the way up to the Hoedspruit Run section in the Kruger Park. So it's quite a substantial property on the western boundary of the Kruger Park, sort of in the Hoedspruit area, just north of the Auburn Road.
Okay, brilliant. And like it sets a tone for everyone and the understanding of what's happening there. It's obviously so privately run, which means like not much government assistance or anything like that. So it's raising funds on your own, and getting some of the most incredible lodges I've ever seen in my life, which have come on board and generously sponsored these incredible prizes for us to get to know, for our community, etc. But that must be quite challenging. It's privately run. Obviously, there's quite a few private homeowners, etc. But it's when you're running something like that, fundraising is important, and fundraising does fund the fight on the reserve. Let's be honest. What are we up against here? I think it's clear to be transparent. And when I was there with you guys and the team up there, I mean, there was things that were happening there which was very eye-opening for me. Let's start with this tough question. How long, if we don't make a big impact now, how long do we have? You know, like, will our children be able to see these children's children be able to see the rhino? What is the rate it's going at? So, you know, like, I think it's on our platform. We are strong. We are transparent in our results, our personal results in our community. What does it look like? And like, is it as bleak as everyone says?
Jono, sadly, yes, it is. It is as bleak as people are saying it to be out there. There's a few strongholds that are left, and mostly the private sector that is doing a tremendous effort with very little resources, very little funding to protect its rhino. But the rate it's currently going in South Africa, our generation, and I'm talking our generation, will probably see the last rhino in wild habitat. We'll probably be, our kids will probably be seeing rhino in captive circumstances. It is that bad at this point in time. Rhino poaching is not newsworthy at this point. I mean, when last did you see anything about rhino poaching broadcast on any of the national news networks? It's not there anymore. And unfortunately, we are losing rhino in this area at about 2 rhino a day. And this is our area. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. So we're trying what we can do with our limited resources. And I'll tell you something, we've got probably one of the most dedicated APU units on the face of the earth. I can guarantee you. They are currently out when it's rain, when it's shine, wind. They spend long times away from their family, but they're out there doing what they need to do to stop the scourge. And we always say that's not going to happen on our watch. We are going to do absolutely everything we possibly can to prevent us losing rhino in the wild. And with our team, I'm confident we can do it. We just need the support from those role players out there that can make that difference.
100%. And, like, I'm seeing the comments coming through. It's like, it's devastating. It's awful. It's that. So instead of everyone saying it's devastating, it's awful, do me a favor, go and share this feed right now, because the more people we impact with this story, the more potentially people we can help. And who knows, maybe we don't make a difference, maybe we do, but if we don't try to make a difference, I think that's the most important thing, And I was on the ground there with those units and those guys. What they're doing is incredible. It is selfless. They are putting themselves in huge danger to go out there away from their family. But most importantly, the one thing that I connected with most when I went there was that feeling and that deep love they have for what they do and for the rhino, and seeing the devastation when one of them went down, and the raw tears and emotion, like, it hit me in my belly, and I was like, this is, it's devastating. These guys are incredible. The animals, the units. I mean, some of the for the animals that are on the board. It's an expensive operation. Hey, Edwin. I mean, for people at home. I mean, you have to understand right now. And please, people, keep on sharing the feed if you're watching this right now, because we need this. Those dogs. To give you an idea, people. I think that the amount was how many thousands? It was 50,000 euros. Am I wrong?
Yep, right up there.
Per dog.
Yes.
So per dog, which is trained and skilled to the capability that is needed to be out there in the bush hunting down these poachers, 50,000 euros a dog, and you have donors from overseas that are trying to help out, etc. But it just shows what sort of resources are needed. Edwin, how long is that route and that sort of border between Kruger and the Timbavati that needs to be patrolled on a daily basis?
So, John, just our eastern boundary with the Kruger National Park is 72 kilometers in length. That's just an open boundary with the Kruger National Park. If you look at our entire boundary around the Timbavati, you're looking at close to 180 kilometers of boundary between ourselves and neighboring reserves and the Kruger National Park. It's an immense area. It's 530 square kilometers that we've got to cover. And a lot of people don't understand, you might be, in a certain spot, but a poacher and a group might, cross behind you, 500 meters behind you. But because of the undulating terrain and the thickness of the bush, you miss these guys. So our teams are out there continuously, up and down the same roads, up and down the same tracks, just, trying to create that presence to say, we're a no-go area. Don't come to us. Don't try and poach rhino here. but it's relentless. I mean, at any given stage, there's groups coming in from Masingir, Mozambique, that walk, 67 kilometers one way just to come look for rhino on this side. We've got groups that come in from the open road area because of the fence line. They try and come in that way. They try and use, come through gates. They try absolutely everything they possibly can to get into these reserves. And you've got to be on top of your game. You mentioned dogs. That's the one side of things. We've got, some of our landowners that are generous enough to allow us to use helicopters when they're around. It's all these small little things and all these tiny little ingredients that make it a successful operation to try and stop the guys from coming in. But, it's scary, but there's only so much we can do with what we've got on the ground. And that's why support like this that we're getting from Jeff the Rhino and from our donors out there, without it, it would be a losing battle. It honestly would be.
No, 100%. And that's why we always say, every little bit counts, because if it's going to help with tech, cameras, whatever it may be, it could even just help with feeding the guards when they're out there. It's small things like that just add up completely to aiding this incredible cause. So it's every little step of the way that we can help and do things, which is why I feel passionate about this one. Is if you have deep purpose inside and you can give, you can make a difference in someone's life. And by exercising, by looking after yourself, it puts you in a position to look after others. And I think it's important that we're doing. And it's going to be great this week as we talk to Candace and Crystal a little bit more, and we're going to find out about the communities, what's going on in the communities around that, around Hoedspruit, and educating those communities about this is their heritage, that don't take the easy route and take these bribes from these guys to find out where the rhinos are, etc. It's like, take the moral high ground and look after the heritage of what the area gives you, because without that, the communities will fall apart around that as well. You know what I mean? So it's a huge domino effect across the whole thing, Edwin, you're an incredibly passionate man about this, and it must be, from a personal point of view, it must be quite disheartening fighting a battle like this, where you feel that you're walking into a southeaster and a brick wall and hail and snow every single day. What do you guys do to cheer each other up and keep the motivation going, just from a different perspective? You've got a hell of a team, and I can't wait for the rest. This is what we hear. We're here to educate our huge community around the world about what you guys do every single day. What do you guys do when it's tough, when it's sad, when you feel like you're not winning? How do you keep the team positive?
Jono, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, none of us actually got into this industry because of anything other than a love and a passion for wildlife, for conservation, to be out there. And I can guarantee you now, when you look at what we do, we've become soldiers. It's become a military operation whereby you're spending so much more of your time on security. You can't switch off. And there's times where my family goes on holiday. We love the Cape. My family lives in the Cape there. And my wife and my daughter will go on holiday without me because I can't leave. I just can't. I do not want a rhino to fall when I'm not here. I don't want a rhino to fall when I'm here. So you end up, this is our life. This is absolutely everything we do. And it goes for every single one of my field rangers on the ground. So we try and get the guys just to let go a little bit, especially during, after patrols. I mean, they patrol in the morning, they patrol in the afternoon, they patrol at night. So what we have done at each one of the field ranger pickets is we put up a little gym. It's a very, very basic gym, but it's just a time where a field ranger can do what he wants to do. He can switch off from the operation. He can work on his physique. He can just pump iron and be happy, for being out in the bush. But we also try and organize quite regularly soccer games. These guys absolutely love their football. And we've got a very basic little soccer field here at the headquarters. But it's a nice time when field rangers can play soccer against the general staff, and the general staff can play against the field rangers. And we try and involve the lodges. It's just something to take their mind off the operation, because I promise you, this is a 24/7 operation. You cannot switch off, but that gives them a little bit of opportunity to just be able to switch off, play some soccer, pump some iron, go for a run, and just be normal.
No, 100%. And I think we forget about that. Like, we forget about the people behind the people and the rangers and their stories and them leaving their families. And I love that. Like, built using physical exercise to change the mindset and stimulate that. And I've just been motivated to get that gym upgraded for you. I'm going to make a few phone calls and see what I can do from a team over there. And we've really got a whole lot of Adidas come on board and sent us some T-shirts and running shoes for some of the guys running the Traverse and stuff. And we're going to get more coming that way. But for everyone in the community, you can see how important it is. And we have got that donation link up there. Ezra, if you could just post it to the top of the comments, guys. 20 Rand, 30 Rand, 40 Rand, 50,000 Rand, 100,000 Rand. It all counts. So if you're sitting here and you have a corporate that wants to get involved, you have a bit of budget that you need to use on a corporate strategy or something like that, please, for goodness sake, click on that link right there and just add it up. Whatever you do not just sit there and look at the link. Make a difference, click on it, and give back, because I promise you, at the end of this month, we will have changed so many lives out of these. Well, it is, even if it's a small little way or big way, but we would have spread the word of Jeff the Rhino and just sort of told the world what's going on there, because no one seems to know what's going on there. And it's very easy to be sitting here in lovely little Cape Town on the bubble, or Johannesburg, or in Durban, or in London, or across Europe, and not having that understanding what really is going on there. And it's tough, guys. But can I tell you one thing? The Timbavati is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. It is amazing. The people are absolutely amazing. I've never been so welcomed in my life. The community, the schools that we went there, the business, the local small businesses growing vegetables that the lodges are now buying from to create this amazing ecosystem of people working on the same sort of basis to solve this problem is gold. You know what I mean? It's absolutely incredible. I had a huge in-depth discussion about that. How important are the surrounding communities and their knowledge for what's going on and educating them to be self-sufficient? How important is that for the fight against the rhino?
It's absolutely instrumental. Jono, without the support of the community surrounding the reserve, you've lost the war already. You've absolutely lost the war. They are instrumental in supporting the reserve, and that's where it's so important for us to support the communities. It's a two-way street. We don't want rhino poached on our side, and they don't want crime in their villages, for example. They want employment. So it's important that we hold each other's hands, and that's why these vegetable gardens, these small SMMEs that we've started kicking off, are so important. It's not just it's supporting each other, but it's creating and educating and getting everybody next door to understand that there's not a separation. There's not a fence line that separates the Timbavati from a local community. We're all in this together. We're one big family. The same way, like you said, the lodges welcome everybody, and we're a huge family in the Timbavati. Our community is part of that family. The millions of people living on our doorstep are exactly that. They are part of this family. And it's by working with them that they realize that every guest that comes through to the Timbavati, there's a positive spin-off for them. There's a donation that goes towards the Timbavati Foundation. Then we are able to use that Timbavati Foundation to put in the resources into the community that they are lacking. You know, whether it's a creche, whether it's a school, whether it's water, whether it's vegetable gardens, all of that kind of stuff is once again that positive spin-off of a guest or somebody coming through to the Timbavati. The amount of jobs that we create in our lodges is another positive spin-off. And we need to once again, and something that Candace and Crystal are working so heavily on, is to instill that sense of pride of, I want to become a ranger. I want to become a field ranger. I want to be the next Anton Mzimba. That's who I want to be. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to be that lawyer. I want to have that passion for being in the bush. And that's where that Timbavati Foundation is so important to us, that we can educate, starting off with the littlies, the guys that are in grade 1 and grade 2, instill that passion that by the time you hit matric, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to be in this bush. I want to protect my heritage, and I want to educate it's been phenomenal so far. Small baby steps, but we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm just so glad that we could try and do something just to help. You know what I mean? It's easy. It's always easy to sit by and watch and think about it and hear about it and say, oh, this is so terrible, whatever, what's happening. But if you don't try and make a difference, if you don't try and do something, you'll sit by and you'll never know, you know. And it's for everyone out there, guys. I'm just seeing all the comments coming through. It's like it really is incredible. It's a special place. It's a special part of the world. And like Edwin, your passion for it, like, you know what I mean, like is basically my passion for this community and for the people that we help. It's like, you know, if you can help one person grow, that person could become a superhero in that community, and they can inspire those around it. You know, it's my goal this month to spread the word, to shout louder than everyone else, to make an idiot of myself because I don't care about it, because it's not about me, it's about you guys and how incredible you are, because you've inspired me to be a better person. You know, we all sit every single day and we worry about nonsense that goes on in our world. We worry about what's happening in the politicians and government and all that. And here's a perfect opportunity to say, stuff that, let's do what we want to do, and let's make a difference from our own private community into another private community. And not have to rely on other people, because people who rely on other people just wait and sit and wait, and we don't do that. It's the same purpose when you want to get a result. If you want to lose weight or whatever, or run faster, you got to bloody do something about it. And if you don't do something about it, nothing happens. So everyone watching, please support these incredible people. You're going to see more of Edwin and the team this whole month, and we're just going to keep on interviewing and talking about it, and we're going to be getting this drumbeat going every single day about how we can do that. Ezra, can you bring up that diagram for me, just so everyone can have a look about this, and I'll post this shortly into the group. It's basically, we can help so many different people, guys, and different levels of support if we look at this. And please have a look at this chart when I posted out lately. It's like, when we raise certain amounts of levels, we can do certain amounts of things, and we need to do certain amounts of things, and big things to help. So we've got some big goals. Look at these goals. I'll post it through the web app, through Facebook, through the WhatsApp groups, through everywhere. So it's drummed into your head what we want to do. And by exercising and looking after ourselves, we are going to be looking after our important part of our heritage. Thanks, Ezra. A massive important part of our heritage, because I want to take my kids to Timbavati so they can educate them and make them feel passionate about the rhino and not only that, the wildlife, the other wildlife, because one day, when, unfortunately, the way we look at it, when the rhino is extinct, they're going to come after the rest. And where does it end? So we have to sort it out now and just do something. And hopefully we can make a difference and just try and help you guys a little bit more, and we'll do our best to do that. So you got my commitment to that, and hopefully I've got the commitment to the community to do that as well. But Edwin, listen, thanks for your time. Thanks for educating us. We're definitely going to get you on again, and talk about some other hard-hitting facts, because otherwise there's no point to it. You know, you can't paint a beautiful picture if you don't have the foundation to that. So as soon as we have a baseline, we understand what we're dealing with, the community can get involved, and they can open their pockets, and they can let's see what we can do to help you guys. So please, everyone at home, this man is a legend. He's an incredible human being. You can see it. You can see just this raw emotion and this just raw feeling for what he believes in, and we're going to help. So Edwin, thanks for your time, legend. You got my commitment, and I can't wait to see you when I'm up there again for the Traverse, which I am crapping myself for. Might I ask?
No, John, a massive thank you. I cannot say thank you enough. Just the awareness that everybody is creating around the rhino and around the cause for the Timbavati. I can't thank you enough. From the bottom of my heart, from every single field ranger that's out here in the field, this motivates them to continue doing what they do. It's not always what you can see, but just knowing that somebody believes in them goes a massive, massive way. So a huge thank you. And I definitely will be here whenever you need me. Please let me know.
You're a legend. Thanks so much, Era. And listen, we'll catch up soon. Let's go. Perfect. Everyone have a good one. Thanks, man. Cheers.
Join Jeff this June.
This evening, we are going to be live, myself and Jules, this evening. at Hopper 6 for a family meeting, and we're going to discuss this even more. And then we're going to get the charity drive going there a little bit more this evening. And the drum beat's going to go on every single day. And we're not going to stop until we get to the end of the month. And then we're going to go do the Traverse on the 9th of July. And we're going to show you exactly what we're going to be doing up there, which is going to be something incredibly special. So thanks everyone for getting on board in this crazy project. I'm excited to do it with you guys. Edwin, cheers, you legend.
Thanks so much.
Join Jeff this June as we venture to the Timbavati in an effort to save the rhino. Stats show, on average, every 22 hours, a rhino loses its life to poaching in South Africa. It's a story we've heard time and time again. Being on the ground recently, it really hit home that we have to try and do something to help. June is the month where Jeff the Rhino is born, a figure of strength, purpose, survival, and vulnerability. Take part in our brand new June programs or select one that is best for you. Either way, you stand a chance to win prizes to the value of 500,000 Rand. By sticking to our plan and looking after ourselves, we are going to be raising awareness for what's happening in the Timbavati, raising funds to improve the safety of the rhino, and make a statement that the Jeff community does not just simply stand by. We rally together to try and make a difference.